Ecstasy, lots and lots of ecstasy, y'all. I had a girl give me ecstasy a long time ago for Valentine's Day, man. I married that girl, you kidding me? That's a keeper, you don't let a girl like that get away, man. You ever had sex on ecstasy? I'll keep you happy for 22 years, man. Hey, y'all be anybody here in love? I'm in love. I've been married 22 years and I'm still in love. Have to admit I have started dating again. I went on my first date, this girl asked me to manscape, man. I'm thinking, how many days did I go on before I asked a girl to shave her pussy? But I thought, a real gentleman wouldn't ask that, right? And then again, a real lady shouldn't have to be asked either. Hey fellas, you know you never win arguing with your lady, right? You figured that out by now? One reason, being a southern gentleman is boobies, man. I really don't live in a country where boobies don't live. There's some arguments about it. Another reason, blow dry. I can tell you, fellas, your lady can't wear arguing with home blow dry. I have the wrong lady. In fact, I got 3-part love test for men and women to see if you guys are right married. Fellas, does she think you're being confused? Does she like the sex? If she swallows, what the fuck are you doing here? Alright, ladies, I got you covered, man. Hey, ladies, does he love you? Does he like to live? If he knows what he's doing, I really don't understand what you're doing here, man. That's cheap entertainment. It may not always be there, trust me. People want to know what heaven on earth looks like. To me, heaven on earth looks like the love of a good woman, honestly. I mean, if you're lucky enough to find a good woman that loves you, that feeds you, that hugs you, that fucks you, that sucks you, that falls asleep in your arms, then have a good sense of giving her side of the bed so you can some deep party shit. Sounds like heaven to me. And the next morning, it's just the opposite. She wakes up in your arms, she sucks you, she fucks you, she feeds you, she hugs you, she loves you. I go to church on Sunday for that. Hell, I might even read the Bible. Hey, y'all want to know when foreplay starts? Never stops. It could be a smile, a look, it could be as simple as just picking your underwear up off the floor, man. Next time you have a climax, fellas, stick it back in there, give her a day of mine. Who knows, you might write a whole new chapter. I wrote a whole new chapter. I've been reading a movie recently. I went through my kitchen drawers and I found all these ketchup packets. I was wondering, how many ketchup packets does it take to make a noodle? I was like, if you know the answer to that, I don't want your recipe for dinner. I'm not big in the kitchen, but I do like fish. When I was in college, my roommate got a South American cichlid. It's a very aggressive freshwater fish. Tiger lobster, we call it orange lobster. He's little, like this big, man. And no fish store, he had to be about the size of my hand. He would jump through the aquarium, Chinese style, and eat goldfish. It was awesome, man. I never had to buy food for him. My friends, neighbors, and family come over and feed him for me. No fish store, he got me like that. And he started to get this home with it. I didn't know what was going on. Like late 80s, early 90s, up here in Austin, from the internet. I ran all these fish stores and I found this fish nerd, and he put some drops in there. I googled it recently. It's called hole in the head disease. It's caused by feeding a lot of goldfish, man. He healed him right up. He was right, man. When he like a thing, that superhero is all bricked up and tough looking. He wiggled when he came to feed him. And no fish store, like that's it, man. But it is a sad story. He did die, y'all. I mean, it's a sad day. You get a fish from this big and up that big, he dies. But I gotta tell y'all, it tasted delicious, man. Some tinfoil, a little butter and salt, just one ketchup packet. That's all he took, man. You ever raise rabbits? They're very intelligent animals. I love rabbits. I got 2 rules for raising rabbits. My first rule is rabbits will do magical tricks for red licorice. They'll flex like a dog for red licorice. Don't feed your rabbits red licorice. They'll die. But if they do, just put them in the oven. There's some carrots, some celery, and potato. 3 or 4 ketchup packets, a little gamey. I got a daughter. She's not dead, thank God. But she does have a boyfriend. And he came back from college for Christmas. She wanted to give him a present, something really expensive. And I was like, sweetie, we're broke. She's like, Daddy, please. I was like, sweetie, we're broke. We're eating our pets. All the recipes consist of ketchup packets. Wasn't your virginity enough? She didn't like that joke. They don't like the way I look. I'm like, you don't like the way I look. But homeless people ain't asking me for any money. I had this girl, she did compliment me. Like, she liked the way I look. She said, your hair looks nice. What do you do to it? I was like, I don't know. I smoke a lot of dope. Take a lot of naps. I just smiled and said, thank you. I know, dude. When I was younger, at a bar like this, dude, you had to have a pickup on you. You'd be like, you come here often, or what's your sign, or want to fuck? Guess the blow blowjob to the question. I don't know if those still work. I don't know if they ever did. Maybe you don't need them, man. You got an app for that. Tinder. I'll never be on Tinder, man. I got 2 kids. That's 2 reasons I'll never be on Tinder. They're on there. So, I have been trying to get in better shape, man. I've been working out. You heard that P90X? It's a workout program. It's called Maxed Out. It's a karate belt system. It's where you work out so hard that you puke, and then you post it on social media. It's like, I got my purple puke belt. I'm like, dude, you should get your red belt. That's when you projectile blood vomit and then die. I mean, I'm all for working out. I still want to go up for it, man. I don't even want to get off my couch, man. Let's put it this way. I'm one adult diaper away from spending like weeks at a time on my couch, man. Makes me happy. You know what else that makes me happy, dude? Leatherback turtles, man. Those are some crazy creatures, man. Leatherback turtles, they come on the beach. Well, I guess they already came because the lady turtles all fertilized all these eggs and stuff. And they're sexless eggs. If they're one temperature boys, and if they're hotter, well, of course they're girls. If they get too hot or too cold, dead baby turtles. Okay, it's not always good news. You go watch TV, right? There's not all bad news. You just get a big boiling pot of water, you fill it up with all the baby turtles in there, you use all your ketchup packets, man. So, believe it or not, you should be happier than I am right now. May 24th, 2008, I was the happiest guy you ever met. And my lovely, beautiful wife was driving down the road and some stupid old lady just ran into her. I can ruin my life. Look, I'm mentally conscious, man. She's here, but she's not here. We're spiritually connected, but we're not addicted, we're not emotional. It's so hard, it's so lonely. Trying to meet somebody, you know? And I don't know, I'm just awesome, man. But I do have some attributes, though. I'm honest. I've had a vasectomy. I'm somewhat domesticated. You take me home, I won't be in your house, but I'll probably piss in your front yard. Best thing about me, man, you run out of weed, I'm gonna leave.
Which brings us to comic number 5. A close personal friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome to the stage, Mr. Montgomery Wayne.
Thank you, Mr. Brown, Cap City, beautiful people of Austin, Texas. Anybody here in love tonight? I'm in love. I've been married 21 years and I'm still in love. I have to admit I have started dating again. I went on my first date and this cost me a manscape, man. I'm thinking, how many days till I go on for I should really shave her lady parts? Then I thought, a real gentleman would ask that, right? But then again, a real lady shouldn't have to be asked either. Is that rude and misogynistic? I was born in Pasadena, Texas. We got any other native-born Texas here tonight? My friends, I'm a 7th generation Texan. Proud parent to 8th generation Texans. It's true. I did marry down low. I married a 5th generation Texan. God bless her. But all we love, I'm a letter 9th generation. I don't know how we love them. I'm tricolor. I love country, think rock and roll. We're living in a hip, hot world. You ever see that movie Idiocracy? I'm worried about y'all. It's a movie set 500 years in the future talking about how stupid our civilization's going to be. I don't think movies accurate at all. I think more like 6 months. I mean, friends with benefits? When I was younger, friend with benefits was some guy that came work on your car. I had a fake ID and got some beer. Not some girl that's sexy with no strings attached. Those were sluts. Don't get me wrong, I love sluts. I give sluts on my smartphone. There's a lot of slutty women out there. You know what a slutty women are on? New Zealand. New Zealand women have sex with 3 times many partners as the rest of the world's average. You hear quotes from New Zealand men saying things like they feel pressured and used. Got my ticket for New Zealand coming next week. Hey, you got New Zealand girls here tonight? Hey, sluts. I'd like to apologize if I offended any of y'all. So let's have feelings too, you know. Hi, Mom! I'm not calling my mom a slut, but my daddy used to. And for the record, I've never called my mom a slut. I just tell people she's from New Zealand. And if I ever meet a New Zealand girl, I just got 2 words to say. Hey, beautiful people. We got outlaws in the house tonight. What are y'all, a bunch of fucking narcs? I ain't looking for criminals. Just some unjust lawbreakers with civil disobedience. ACT in the house, y'all. Hell, there's some outlaws gonna smoke weed. There's a weed's been outlawed because they're being marketed for it. Second, it's marijuana marketing. Y'all heard of Corona, find your beach? Marijuana, find your couch. Geico, give us 15 minutes to save a much more in your insurance. Weedco, give us 15 seconds to not care about insurance. Snickers, pack of peanuts. Hot nuts, pack of Snickers. That really satisfying. Hey, am I the only one when you leave here, you see a cop car or DPS officer, you start hearing things on the jaws? Oh, I know. I think I'm a little older than all y'all, man. My dad took me since I was 5 years old, man. That movie really fucked me up, y'all. I couldn't take a shower for like 3 years, man. I'm a dirty little boy. Well, I got that fear. I realize it's silly, but now I leave here, I see a cop car DPS officer, like, dun, 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 dun. And man, if those lights come on, I don't care what, I'll get pulled over. I get terrified. I realize what the problem is. I'm a little intoxicated, y'all. I ain't got breathalyzer tests or anything. But I do know one way to tell when I reach my legal limit. When I start following the law, y'all, it's time for me to get sober. I better drink some water. And I'm not the biggest driving fan. I do know one thing. Girls, ladies, y'all are very good drivers. I'm not talking about skill. It's not about ability. It's manners. Y'all are rude. And sir, gentlemen, it's our fault. We're like everything else. We're always like ladies going ahead of us, ladies first, all that stuff. But the problem is in your car, we don't realize that you're a lady. You're some assholes cutting us off. But I did come up with a solution for the problem, man. What we need is a tits, y'all. Boobies on cars. If I see a big old pair of titties on a Tahoe, I want to get over, I'm like, come on over. In fact, I came with a whole new demographic for the automakers. They had the Ford Thunderbreast or Chevy Malibu, Toyota Carriola, Mercury, bring back the Cougar. For you sports car fans, the Maserati, Ferrari, Rossa, Lamborghini, Goon, Tatas, BMW, Ultimate Midland Machine, the Chugwire. We having fun? I ain't quitting. Nissan Infiniti, Titty, Mercedes 44 double D's. The original movie car is Judy Baker. 3 soccer moms, a Dodge, Grand pair of cans. I got a question, Cap City. How many are for drug testing? 100% for drug testing. Drugs. No heckling, man. I got my own business. I want to know what kind of people will work for me, you know? So the test is, if you don't do drugs, you ain't working for me. Our store motto is, we may be high, but our prices on it. So I guess my time's up. Let me see the light. Thank y'all very much. Thank you, Cap City. Beautiful people. Jared Mr. Brown. I love you, Stephanie. I love the Outlaw. Where are all at?
Which brings us to comic number 5, a close personal friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome to the stage, Mr. Montgomery Wayne.
Thank you, Mr. Brown, Cap City, beautiful people of Austin, Texas. Anybody here in love tonight? I'm in love. I've been married 21 years and I'm still in love. I have to admit I have to start dating again. I went on my first date, this girl asked me to manscape, man. I'm thinking, let me get something.
I'll show them. I'll be a professional. I'd be like, one turn of the wheel in this sorority party, so many yokes. Not like 24 hours. No, just like a weekend getaway. Full of helicopter to me. The ticket said 10 pounds. And sometimes I Google it. Gets out to 27 feet tall. That's what we run. His wife, during like charged me he asked for my card. And he goes, I might call you. So we don't get and like, he's not calling. I got wisdom. He said, 5 a.m. I still have my suit on. Over it. It's movie Friday. Pick me up. Like, full tilt. I always like had a car. He like shocked me online. He's like, you gotta go to LAX. He called me once, he got pulled over. Subbing in major efforts. 6 years so I'm kind of like, Jesus. I'm an outside observer in this. Are you seeing a lot of babies? Yeah, a lot of babies. A lot of lives matter. Swedish wives. Probably, yeah. For no reason. He is, yeah. I don't know if it was. Yeah, and he was like still.
I'm Fallon. I'm his son. Fallon. That's right. Nice to meet you. Finally meet you. Yeah, I've seen you before. I've watched your set before. You're great. Earlier today, man. Sorry, good. Yeah, I've definitely seen you before as well. Yeah, I've seen you. Oh, of course. Of course. Your name again?
I'm Robin.
Yeah.
I'm pretty new now.
Yeah. Great, man. Played basketball. You know, I've gone through all the emotions. You know, I'm past anger. Time to do something. Young man. That's right. Cool. Yeah, thank you. Of course. It's really incredible, honestly. Very cool. Spider. Everybody. I just, over the last 3 or 4 years, kind of used to like, whatever, dude. Motherfucker really astounding. Really astounding. Okay, you guys got that? I want everybody to come inside.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming out tonight. Yeah, clap a little. Clap a little. I'm sure we all wish we were here under different circumstances. This is not an ideal situation to do comedy in. But are you guys ready for a open mic room that's going to be a lot sadder than normal? Because that's, I think, what's going to happen here tonight. Thanks to Alfredo for letting us do this. This is going to be fun. Yeah. This is Monty's Memorial Open mic. He would have been super bummed Love Goat didn't happen tonight. You definitely would have been here. If you want to come up and tell a story about Monty, feel free. That's definitely encouraged tonight. If you don't, feel free as well. We would love to get our minds off this, hear about anything else. I'm sure we all have spent a lot of today just reading Facebook and thinking about Monty, and you know, it's been nice, but Jesus, 24 hours of Monty Wayne in my head, that's something no one ever asked for. Monty was a great guy. Well, I remember when this is the kind of guy that the legend of Monty Wayne was to me. When I first started comedy, the first time I ever got on the list at the Velveeta Room, like 2 years ago when Dana was still running it, I was super excited. I drove down there, like, when I started driving down there was this like torrential downpour. It flash flood. The Velveeta Room ended up like getting water coming in their front door, so they canceled the show that night. I didn't know that. I had parked my car and just, I was walking to the Velve, and all of a sudden, I just out of the shadows, this cowboy hat, ponchoed figure just goes, "Hey, your show's canceled, man." And I was like, "What?" And I walked up, and it was Monty, and he's like, "Yeah, show's canceled, water's all in the, water in the Velveeta Room, man." I was just like so bummed out because it was my first time to do it, and I was so excited. And I just asked him, like, "Do you think if I go over to New Movement, maybe I can get on over there?" And he just goes, "Man, night like this, anything could happen." I went over to the block party and I got on and I had a great set. And I was like, damn it, Montgomery Wayne knows a little something. You wouldn't think that, but he does. The scene is just gonna miss him so much. He was literally the first person pretty much everybody probably met in here when they came into the open mic scene, if not one of the first people. He was everywhere. Loved to smoke weed. I don't know. I don't want to go on for too long. We got a lot of comics here. I'm sure you all got a lot of fun things, fun stories, maybe just some jokes to hear too. It's going to be 4-minute sets, because we got to finish by 2. I'm going to give you the light at 3. Are you guys ready to get this started? All right. Maybe we should have a moment of silence first. No, let's get that energy up. No? Okay. I don't know what to do right now. Let's just give it up for your first comic. He's new in town. I think he's going to do a good job. First, whatever. Give it up for Danny Rocio.
Yeah, that's about how I would sum up my expectations for myself. Yeah, good job, I guess. Well, I know I look like I just left the bar mitzvah. I get mistaken a lot for a white guy, but really I swear I'm Hispanic. From a little place called El Paso, Texas. I got tapatio running through my veins. My blood type's a 5,000 on the Scoville unit. But you know, getting mistaken for a white guy who's being Hispanic a lot of the time, my mom used to love to tell me, "Mijo, you should have seen the look on your father's face when you were born. Sorry, your father." But thanks. I'm gonna be the heckler. That was good. You're gonna be the heckler? Good. I don't get a lot of practice with those. Most people are just so silent. I need some good BS tossed at me so I can stay on my feet. You know, it's funny. My family, they came here like generations ago, but they're already for like a closed border policy. Like, my dad used to always remind me to close the door behind me, and I never understood why. But it turns out that for them, they used to say, they're like, we found our American dream. Finders keepers is what they used to say. They're like, we got here first, guys. We'll just stop it now. Definitely glad Donald Trump's saying something about it, you know? Although, I think if he's going to do it, if he's going to try to like close off the border, he should definitely do his immigration person by person. Should bring them into a room like it's The Apprentice, and then he has to guess their nationality. So it'll be like, bring somebody in, okay, Mexican. Sorry dude, Guatemalan. Amnesty, immediately, just grant it to them and their whole family. That'll be a good deal for them. Really bad for the Mexicans. Let's see what else. You know, I guess, you know, my family must have liked having a little white boy though. Must have been nice to answer the door, especially when ICE or the Border Patrol ever showed up. You know, they come to the door. Open the door. Oh, send them, send them, send them. I get there. They're expecting like, hola, tengo chicles. And, you know, they get like, hello, sir. And, you know, they'll be like, oh, well, looking for the Riccio family. Oh, dude, you got it all wrong. This is Schwartz. The Riccios are 5 houses down. Yeah, and they're like, oh, sorry to be bothering you. And I'd be like, no problem. They'd leave, close the door, turn around, Mama, ya se fueron? We hit the sat button for you. That means that the coast is clear, and then 99 of my cousins come jumping out of a lampshade. So, true story there. Thank you guys. I'm gonna leave on the note that is, thank you guys for letting me be first. And even the smallest conversations can leave the biggest impressions. Give it up for yourselves and give it up for your hosts.
Thank you very much. And this is Monty's son, Fallon. Give it up for him for making it out. Thank you for being here, Fallon. We all love you dad very much. Thank you. We have now seen what telling jokes at a memorial service is like. Do whatever you want, those. Your next comic, Very Funny, runs Hotel Vegas, also runs Kebabalicious on Wednesdays. Give it up for Nick Savarino.
It's the only time Sam's ever going to give people hugs tonight, guys, so milk them. I like that if you stand right here, Monty will just be staring at you, judging your set the whole night. I don't have a lot to say. I'm not going to say a lot. I'm not going to do material. I have this whole week to be selfish about material. The only thing I really did just want to come up and say, I was going to go home earlier, but and then Sam posted the thing about this thing, and I was like, I can't, he's dead, so I can't just not go. And I'm very uncomfortable with death. Not very good at it. Not very good at death.
You're doing great.
I'll give you your $5 after my set, and I really did just want to come up on stage. There was no other time when I was actually going to go somewhere and go up on a stage and just say, Mono's a great guy. Everyone knows that. Anything I say won't be that original compared to everyone else, so I just wanted to come up on a stage and say, Mono is an amazing person. Everyone knows that. Great person. Nicest guy. I came here last July, 2014. That's what last July is. I came here last July, moved down here within a month. Definitely did not feel like I'm in anything to the community. At least didn't feel funny. And it was nice to know at least one guy came up to me and said, "You funny. And that was nice to hear every once in a while. Smoking weed. So if you have a drink, just raise it up. I don't have one, but if you have a drink, just raise it up and say, on 3, I'm just going to have everyone say, like, Montgomery Wayne, we love you. 1, 2, 3. To Montgomery Wayne, we love you. Woo.
Nick Cedrone. Very beautiful, Nick. Next comic, very funny. Another good friend of Monty. Give it up for Kyle Tolbert.
Yeah, of course. No,
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll do a few jokes. You're gonna be able to tell all the newer comics from the ones that have been around a while, because they got the red eyes, but not because of weed this time. It's just sadness. Yeah, this is great, guys. We're filming this, the most depressing open mic. I love it. So I got a new case for my iPhone. Got a new case for my iPhone. Yeah, moonlights as a detective at night. Cool, that's about how all of our jokes are gonna go, I hope. I played so much Candy Crush on it that I got diabetes. So, now you gotta play Insulin Rush every few hours or it crashes. Thank you, Abe. You've heard that joke 100 times and you're still laughing like that. I appreciate it. It's great. My favorite game on the iPhone is this like pizza simulation game, like where you order pizzas for somebody. You can like pick all the toppings, what kind of crust you get on it, the sauce. It's the Papa John's pizza game. You guys played it? The free version's great, but it's even better when you make in-app purchases. Because then some guy comes over and delivers your prize to you. It's awesome. Hold on. Can write another one. Whatever. So, yeah, it's been a fun day, right, guys? It's been great. One of the first interactions that I had with Monty was so I gotta work on this because there's like 7 other open mics that we're gonna be doing for the same reason. So I gotta polish these stories. Like this one. So I met. One of the first times I interacted with him was at Cedrone, back, whenever I first started. And I went first, and as most of you know, he preferred to go first. That's a thing that he liked to do. And I didn't realize that, because I was new. And we were just becoming acquainted. And so after my set, he tried to riff on a couple of my jokes that didn't quite go so well, and so he came up after my set, and he was just talking about how he definitely should have gone first. And he was right. Like it wasn't the best way to start a show, but it was fun. Then we did a show at South by Southwest last year, which was really fun. Thank you for South by Southwest cheer. I don't know if you guys remember the trophy room.
Yeah.
Or trophy club, was it, Sam?
Yeah, trophy club, yeah.
Yeah, fuck trophy club. everybody that was here a few years ago. There was Monty was barking out front, and I guess Trophy Room got mad, and so we started a fuck trophy club. I don't know. It doesn't. I'll get it right the next open mic. And we started a sweet campaign, but it was a fun show because there was this Russian band that opened the open mic, and they were 3/4 of the audience. Not unlike a laundromat open mic that you might go to. So, but it was great, you know. It was fun. We miss you, Monty. Where my in-laws at? Just sad that I never got to say that to them.
Kyle Tolbert. That is a good story about Monty. He would tell you how he felt, regardless of how you were going to feel. But that's what made him great. He would have never done a lot of the shit he wanted to do without that personality trait. Your next comic. Very funny, good friend of Monty's again. I could just say that about everybody who comes up tonight. He's running a benefit for him Monday night at the Skylark Lounge. Give it up for Abe Dashner.
Thank you, Mr. Order, Mr. Tramps, members of the audience. I used to bust his ass for that, like every fucking time he did that shit too, right? Because he'd lecture me like, you know, the motherfucker died owing me $20 because you didn't show up on time, but you owe me $20, motherfucker. Now, hey, we paid for his funeral, everybody. Let's keep on doing it. I'll still be taking donations Monday night, though, you know. That, you know, you can do it. But look, it's the Saturday night Uber drivers meeting. I know y'all got fares to get to here, so I'll try to be brief. Yeah, I don't know what to say. This is amazing. I don't know what, you know. I thought we were gonna get up here and tell Monty's jokes, and I was like, well, which one of the three? I don't know. Third grade puns, like a Brestarossa, like I really. And I think that was the thing that amazed me the most, because I always tried to like really like try at it. Well, for a while, I have for a couple years, but yeah, I did. I mean, I was trying to, you know, be smart and amaze everybody. And that motherfucker get by on the dumbest, basest shit, like forever. And that was incredible, because you couldn't talk the motherfucker down, right? You can't talk the guy down. When he's convinced, right, Fallon?
Full of pride.
Yeah, exactly.
And not.
There was a time when I could have given, I tried, right? He dumb shit and only buy weed like $15 at a time, right? So, there was a time where I could have, and I offered to give him like a half a pound of weed so that he could like maybe like feed himself instead of, you know. But no, he didn't want it. I think he was going to just hole up in his house and smoke the whole fucking thing. I think that's why he kept it down to like the $15 at a time. But yeah, no, I met Monty. I don't, look, this is up for, I don't give a shit. I met him the first time I ever went to Cold Town, and I was just there to get high and watch comedy. It was the first time he'd been at Cold Town, I know that. And I thought, well, this guy sucks. And then I was smoking a bowl with him out back later, and he was giving me, he gave me, for some reason, he found out I had 2 kids, and he gave me like about 18 packs of crayons and those little kids' names. You know, and I ended up like a Yankee Candle on the floor of my car about 3 days later, like blended rainbow crayons all over the fucking place. And all this crazy fucking, I'm gonna go to Paris, Texas, and sell merch. And he was into merch for a while, right? He was waiting for weed to be legalized. And he was gonna have his own line of gear, right? Like bongs and pipes and shit. So I took him to Harbor Freight Tools one day and tried to buy him a lathe. You know, so he could make his own pipes because he wanted to do his shit all else. And he didn't want to do that. He already had it sourced. He had it sourced to fucking somewhere that was gonna make all this shit for him. He was just waiting. He was waiting for it to be legal. So I don't know. The guy was he was one of my best friends over the last few years, and I'm glad we got the time that we had. And thanks y'all for coming. And hey, I'm sorry.
Abe Dashner, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up one more time. The next comic, very funny, good friend of Monty Wayne. Runs, I don't know, what do you run anymore? It's the Alpha Test Podcast? No?
Sure.
Yeah, he just shook his head no and then said sure. Give it up for Paul Harrison.
Oh man, I run some things. I have two favorite Monty memories out of all my Monty memories, and there are a lot of them. One of them is that after one of Luis's shows at his mom's house, Michael Mansour went missing. We thought he was drugged out and wandered into the woods, which is extremely likely. He wandered off to Los Angeles recently, I don't know if you guys knew that. And Monty was like, hey man, we gotta find this guy, I think he's in trouble or something. So he and I wandered through kind of the woods on East 9th Street being like, Michael Mansour! Michael! Where are you? For like 30 minutes. It turns out he went with some friends in a car, and it worked out okay. That's the kind of guy he was. The other time was actually just last Wednesday, when I was smoking weed in front of Monty for the first time probably, and he just smiled really big, and he was like, Paul, you're doing it! And gave me a high five. And I was like, okay, I've made it now. I'll do regular jokes for the rest of the time. Guys, I was recently unemployed for about 6 months, and I was really worried during this period that I'd turn into like a crazy jobless uncle kind of guy. So I have nieces, and I was jobless, and I'd go up to people and be like, look, I got a great idea for a comedy club / restaurant. It's going to be called Giggle Bites. There'll also be a computer lounge there to justify the pun in the name. I just need $5,000 today, $5,000 next week. I'll pay you back in 6 to 12 years. This is a sure business opportunity. No one ever gave me any money for that. Probably because I used that voice when pitching it to people. But I was looking through a list of domain names that I bought over the years, and I realized I've always been that crazy jobless uncle guy in my heart. God, looking at the side thing here is really depressing. I realized I've always been that crazy jobless uncle guy in my heart. Here's some of the domain names I actually own and continue to pay for. I own golachi.com, which is for a kolache food trailer that will never exist. I own cyberpunkbluegrass.com because I have a drinking problem. Easy access to buying domain names. I own sadwhitepeople.com, which I bought after the 2012 election. Still paying for it. It's going to come up again someday. White people will always be sad. But the real winner in all the domain names I've ever bought in my entire life is I own alimahotties.com. And you know there's two things the internet really loves, and it's pornography and conspiracy theories, and I merged them into a perfect word, right? Alimahotties. Perfect. The slogan for alimahotties.com when it launches in late 2016 is going to be, we'll plant the charges in your South Tower. And that's going to be really big one day. Here's a joke I did in front of Monty a lot. The only time I've ever been hospitalized in Austin was for a caffeine overdose. Which you may wonder, hey, how do you do that? That's what the doctor wondered as well. So what happened was, you know, I went to the hospital. The doctor was like, well, what happened? I'm like, well, I drank a 4-pack of Monster Energy in the space of about 20 minutes. Apparently you're not supposed to do that. I didn't know. And he said, well, what were you doing that you needed to stay awake for? And I'm like, look, I was playing Dungeons & Dragons for like 7 hours. Look, I need to stay awake. We were rolling 20s all night. I couldn't go to sleep. How could I? Wow, I completely forgot the ending of that joke. But I nearly died because of Dungeons & Dragons. So that's about it. Anyway, I love you, Monty. I love you, Sam. Sam, come back up here for the love of God.
Paul Harrison. Woo! Clapformers, yeah. I know. Let's keep the energy up. It is sad in here. When Alfredo told me he wanted to put pictures of Monty up, my initial reaction was, oh fuck no. But as much as we are here to have fun, we are here to grieve as well. That's just the grim fact of it at this point, folks. Give it up for your next comic. Very funny. Loved Monty a lot. You can see him tomorrow at Love Goat Showcase. Yeah, I'm promoting my show right now. Give it up for Robin Reynolds.
That's fucked up. That is fucked up. I do appreciate. No. I can't. I feel like anything. Like I feel like nothing I say is gonna really be on the tail after a fucking roasted Monty. Like what the hell? It's not like. I just appreciate that this is the only way we could make this mic sadder. I didn't know Monty super well. I've only been here a bit longer than half a year. I don't smoke weed that often. I'm sorry, your dad smoked weed. I'm sorry to be able to tell you that. I think, but like I have like two stories about Monty that are like notable. I was a UT student the first few months I was here, and I had because of like how UT does parking passes, I had to park a mile from where I lived. And to get back to my dorm, I had to cross a bridge over I-35. And like sometimes it would be at like 2 or 3 in the morning. It would be kind of like, oh, kind of weird. I don't know. Maybe someone's gonna mug me on this bridge. And the only time anyone ever interacted with me, it was Monty. I don't know why he was on a bridge over I-35. I don't know why he was there. He just walked out of the darkness, and I'm like, oh, a guy with a straw hat. I hope what's gonna happen here. I was like, oh, it's fucking Monty. Like, what's up? And we just chatted on the bridge. And then I found out last night, Ali Amron has like an almost identical story of just walking downtown in Austin like 3 in the morning, and Bonnie just walks out of a corner like, yo, what's up? He's like the guardian angel of Austin comedy. Occasionally, I'm in a sketch duo with my roommate. We just don't take comedy seriously. And we were doing a thing for a while where we were like crashing stand-up mics. And we're called Golf Cart. And we did Cenote, and Monty found that out. And immediately said, you guys need to go perform on a golf course. And here's the thing. The laundromat show, the training show, those are fucking genius. Like, if some fucking alternative comic in New York did that, there would be, like, BuzzFeed articles about it. Splitsider would do, like, a whole week just devoted to the laundry mic. Like, that would be a thing. Like, fucking Pitchfork would write about it. But it happened here, and so all the comics were like, oh, they're gonna do that. Oh, that's a bad idea. Fuck you. That's so fucking brilliant. You're all cowards. You're all fucking cowards. Do stand up in a fucking laundromat, okay? If you fucking care about comedy, do stand up on a fucking train. Jesus Christ. I think everyone's mentioned, like, yeah, he fucking worked his ass off. He told me he weekly would, his goal was like to do an hour of comedy a week, which I think is amazing. For me, I don't know. Maybe that's nothing to everyone else. But I think that's fucking impressive. I do like no, that's not true. I do like 15 minutes a week. Everyone's actually put so much work in, but I don't think anyone's pointed out so fucking much of that work was put into Austin comedy. Like, not to his stand-up, it was put into everyone else's. He was, he had like 7 shows, I think. Like, at least 7 shows that I know of just in the 8 months I've been here, which is fucking incredible. He really cared about everyone here and loved everyone here. And I can't imagine Austin without him. So.
Robin Reynolds. I was there at both laundromat shows. I am not a coward. One of those shows was a definite nightmare. But that stage time was invaluable. It puts you so on top of your shit. You have to be so in the zone to do good. I valued that. I told Monty after I made the finals of the Funniest Person in Austin contest this year, I would not have done it without that laundromat show. And I still feel that way to this day. All right, give it up for your next comic. We're going to keep this thing going. Very funny, Sean Camp.
This one's really hard for me.
All right. You're good.
This one's really hard for me. Ooh. And he was a beautiful man. He was a beautiful man. And I don't do this. This is not my thing, man. Just to go up here and cry. This is not it.
Liar!
No. You know, I mean, the guy fucking. Oh my God. He was. I don't know, everything I've said online, so. But, seriously, I do want to say that, Monty was a huge talent, and a huge guy, you know? And he fucking cared, man. He fucking cared. I don't care if I'm crying in this mic. He fucking cares, man. 2 open mics. 2 open mics, he led. And, he was so consistent, man. He was so consistent. He said, you got to memorize to the second how long your set is. He came up to me, I used notes. It's horrible. So you gotta stop. He turned me over and he yelled at me and he said, you gotta stop using fucking notes. You know why? Because I love you, man. I love you. And I was like, whoa, you know, he had his he was so intense when he'd give me the eyes. And I was just like, whoa, this is heavy. And I didn't listen to him. And then one time I did, and I went up, and I was like, I did the notes for you, Monty, and I did a little sarcastic shake. All right. He's like, yeah, it was terrible. And I'll leave you with this. Monty and I we're both outlaws in a way, man. We're both fucking outlaws. And we kept each other, we were friends.
Hey man, you can be as honest and as explicit as you want to be. This is a free speech country. That's what we're based upon.
Okay, well.
For now.
Right, well, it meant a lot to me, and I'm sorry. Okay, bye.
Sean Camp. Very touching, very touching. Your next comic is just at Badlands with me Tuesday. Monty was giving advice on fatherhood. Great guy. Give it up for Danny Jacques.
Whew. Nice, Sean. Thanks for doing this, Sam. Sorry for your loss. Yeah, I'm amazed how attractive his children are. Especially you. Look me in the eye. Look at you. Can't believe, yeah, well, you made that. You can overdose on caffeine? That other guy said that. I've been like draining Red Bulls. Just feeding my kid. I got a new baby, and I did in fact bring the baby to Badlands the other night, and he was born. I did Cherrywood and stopped there, and I was just like a deer in headlights. And Monty grabbed my kid, just like a veteran dad, and held the baby and burped my kid on Tuesday. It's fucking crazy. Yeah. So I'll have that memory. I've only been around for a few months, 6 months in the Austin scene, and
You look older.
thank you. And I was a little eager recording like this every set in the beginning, and Monty is in 90% of them, calling me up to the stage. And I woke up, thought it was a bad dream, and then I was just like, this is a massive hole that's going to be missing from our lives and comedy in Austin. It's just nuts. It's going to be like our 9/11, I think. Whatever the fuck that means. I don't know what I'm saying. But moved down from New York, and he was the first guy I met, and he was my introduction to Texas, and I thought maybe everybody would have the hat and be an outlaw. And thank God that's not true. Yeah, right. I see his buddies here. Are you a comic?
No.
No.
South by Transportation. Monty was the best.
Well, thanks for coming, and I really didn't prepare. I just wanted to get up and say a few words, and I'll give the room some time back. Thanks, everybody. Sam, come on back up.
Keep trying to shake hands. Give his son a hug too, Danny. Don't forget, everybody clap. Everybody clap for this hug. This is a special thing about the Austin comedy scene. We get, yeah, everybody. Another special thing is we get great out-of-town guests here all the time. They may not know anything of this was happening. They're just looking for stage time. All the way from New York City, a very funny comic. Please give it up for KC Aurora.
What does that say about me? How can I make this more about myself? You know, can we take the pictures down and put my headshot up for a little while? No? Okay, fair enough. Listen, not a good weekend to visit, obviously, but hey, you know, unfortunately, things happen. But I gotta say, as somebody from out of town, well, from New York City, where we just are, you know, recklessly cold, and don't give a shit about anybody, to see what you guys did for, you know, for a friend of yours is incredible. That's like fantastic, and that's like the sweetest thing, you know. If anything happened, I've been gone from New York City for 5 days and no one's texted me. What does that say about not even my own mom. She hasn't even reached out, like, at all. She's, you know, but when she wants money, though, she still doesn't hit me up because I have none, so, you know, it sucks for her. This is what you get, you know? 1 out of 2 is not bad. My brother's a doctor, so hey. Makes sense. That's what it is. Where do you go from here? Where do you go from here? You know, I've been just doing really well all week. It's really solid. And then I decided I could use a little humble pie. And I heard Mr. Tramps is serving a whole heap of it. You know? So, there's always that. So where are you from? No, I'm kidding. This is the time to start doing crowd work with the sun. This is, you know? I'm just waiting for like the Sandman to pull me off stage. Get out of here, you foreigner! No, not because I'm this color. I mean, but you know, because I'm not from here. Listen, we know that our salsa is inferior to your salsa. We're well aware, okay? Yeah. Pace, we get it.
Get a rope!
Alright, yeah. Okay, picantes, we get it. You got it, alright? That's what we do. I remember when, you know, the thing is that, like, you guys, like, this guy seems like an incredible dude. I remember, when my grandmother passed, I couldn't have been any happier. She was a terrible woman. She was just really was a shitty person. You know, she taught me how to play gin rummy, and then she would cheat, and we'd play for money. And I was like, that is fucking terrible. I was like, what are you gonna, you know? I remember telling my mom, I was like, hey, she's cheating, and she's like, oh, it's your grandma. I was like, no, fuck that. That's your mom, not mine. I don't know her anything. She lived to be 88 to 92 years old. She lied till the end. And what does that say about a person when she continues to lie and scam people? She was the worst. Like, I remember one time, like, I was wearing this green jacket, this track jacket, I was fond of it, and I walked in the room, and, you know, she was a real thug. She was a real thug of a woman. And I walked in, and, you know, she looked at me, and she said to me in Hindi, and she was like, "Are mujhe de," which means, "Hey, yeah, let me get that." She took the jacket from me, and then I found out she sold it to my cousin. Like, how dare you? How dare you? You know, like, that's ridiculous, you know? So, when people were like, hey, would you ever take a bullet for your grandma? I was like, well, suicide's never the option, so. That's a thinker in a lot of ways. But listen, thank you guys very much. This is really sweet of you guys. Have a good one.
Casey Aurora. All the way from New York City. One more time for him. He's been on TV. Woo! Monty would be so happy if he knew a comic from TV performed at his opening. That is true. He would be thrilled about that. Your next comic running a little fundraiser for Monty on Tuesday at Stomping Grounds on South Congress. Give it up for Blake Bold.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. Seriously, I don't know how much to say. I guess like the most that I can really say is just like stories and shit about money. Like everybody has like seemingly just like at least one story about money, and they're always really good stories. I mean, maybe none of them are like as good as I went to Texas for a weekend and performed at a memorial for a man I didn't know. That's a pretty good story. And then I did well. Wow. Holy shit. He killed at a memorial. How fun is that? It was there. I had to take it. I do have a couple of stories about Monty. Mostly just like Monty just like put on the best shows. Just because like not best in terms always of like audience attendance or audience willingness to be there. But they were great. They were great because they were experiences that you couldn't have anywhere else. I did comedy on a fucking Amtrak. I did comedy on an Amtrak to Leander. Do you know who wants to laugh on a trip to Leander? No one. I remember it was me and Mahoney Sleshy and Simply Courtney, and Monty rounded us all up. He wasn't even there when I got there. Me and Tiffany Stepp just followed this Facebook beacon to the 5th Street station. We got on a train, just like an angel had called us to just come home, and we got on this train having no clue where we were going at all, just knowing that we were going to meet Monty at some point, and then we passed the train that he was coming on. Like, we were coming in the wrong direction. And we ended up, like, stopping by Lakeline Mall, like the symbol of all things death. And just waiting there, just like waiting for Godot. Just standing there with just like bags full of Jack in the Box. And eventually he came, and we got onto this train, going to Leander, and I did a set that was like probably the best set that I've ever done. I cherish that set more than anything. I haven't done any of those jokes. Those jokes are garbage, honestly. They were all terrible garbage, but these people laughed at it somehow, and I want to thank Monty for just like giving me that chance to make these people laugh in a situation that people would never laugh in. He somehow instilled the confidence in me to make that happen. And I don't know, I guess the other story that I have isn't nearly as emotionally resonant as that. The other story, I performed at his normal show that he did. And it's just, there's no better show than a normal show. Everyone is high. Everyone is high. Not all of them get it, but they laugh anyway. So it's good. And I was standing with Monty before I went up. And I've been sober for about 5 years now. And just stone cold sober. And he and a friend were doing this thing called Chava or Hava or something. I don't know. I met a makeup girl named that once. I didn't know she was a drug. A mildly legal drug that they sell in coffee houses now, and I tried a little bit of it, and you should have seen, cause just it was legal, and I don't know, just I felt frisky, I don't know, but you should have seen just the light that came on in Monty's eyes when he saw me 5 years sober taking something. It's just oh my God. Thank you for just opening yourself up to this experience, man. And I had just one of the best sets I've ever had. I can't. Just two of the best sets I've ever had in my entire life were just because Monty Wayne was there. And just, man, if I can take anything from this at all, just except for just pure sadness, it's just that we don't have a lot of fucking time. I know I'm over time. We don't have a lot of time. We don't have a lot of fucking time to do this shit. And I feel like Monty intrinsically knew that, in his heart. And that's why he always fucking came up to people and talked to them and got to know them. Because he knew that, we're not long for this fucking earth. So we need to get to know each other and be friends with each other and help each other out and make this the best possible experience that you can possibly have, and he was into that. So I love you, Monty. Thank
Blake Bowles, take his words as to heart. Do drugs, get better at comedy. That's how it works. He's right. Monty was one of the biggest supporters of comedy. The biggest comedian supporter of comedy, and that is so true. He was friendly, very positive, two traits that comedians don't often have. Love him to death. Let's give it up for your next comic. Very funny, Cameron Sublime.
Thank you, Sam. Don't run off too far because I'm not doing a real set. I'm just going to read some stuff I wrote down 5 minutes ago. I think this is the first time Monty got you people in a room to actually watch comedy. He ran so many rooms heroes, but you assholes hardly ever sat down and watched. Myself included. I've been in Austin a year, but I still didn't really know Monty, even though I saw him more than I see my own friends. I've read a lot of stories today just about what kind of husband and, more importantly, what kind of father he was. And I love my dad, but it's like, step your game up, Andre. It's my turn to be disappointed in you. I want that Monty Wayne love, you know? Apparently his funeral's been paid for, which is amazing, but I almost want all that money to go towards buying so much weed that if North Korea attacks, they hit Tulsa or El Paso or whatever shitty city you're shitting on that week. So his premise rings true. Monty provided so much time, stage time, to the comics of this city that I really don't think any of us would be at the level we're at without him. So I just want to thank you, Monty. You're a great guy. I'll miss you.
Cameron Sablon. Very funny. I'm glad somebody wrote some memorial-specific jokes. Good work ethic. We're going to keep this show rolling. Another good friend of Monty. Give it up for Fro Espinoza.
Hey everybody. I won't take too much time either. Hey, I'm new at this. I started in April, and Monty told me already that I was his favorite comic in Austin. And he showed that by, he let me drive him to the other mics a lot. I was very grateful. We had good conversations though. I only did like twice, I think. I got to spend some time with mine, and he was really cool. And he was one of the first characters I really recognized on stage, like as just a good comic and a good person. Yeah, it's just strange. I think out of all the comics in Austin, he probably didn't laugh at me the most out of everybody, because he was at so many, right? And you know, the thing about death, for me, what really bothers me about it is just that I'm not going to be around to enjoy it. So his son's here, and that's an amazing thing, because I just had a kid. I'm about to have another kid any day now, and so it's really awesome to see you here. Did you get to smoke weed with your dad?
Yes, I did.
That is awesome. That is really cool, because I want to smoke weed with my kids. I can't wait. I'm excited. Got a long ways to go. So the last thing, just real quick, I don't know if he told you guys this, but he told me something very inspiring. I was about to drive into the Skylark on Monday, and he told me that to generate material, he just has one of his friends tell him a word, any random word. And then he'll write a week's worth of material about it. And so I thought that was really awesome. I thought it was really cool. That's something I might try. This week was mountains. So, thanks for having me, guys. You guys are beautiful. Your dad's beautiful. Thank you.
Fro Espinoza, ladies and gentlemen. Mountains. That is true. That is how Monty wrote jokes. Told me the same thing. Your next comic wrote a really beautiful thing about Monty earlier on Facebook. Give it up for Jay Whitecock.
Oh, that probably hurt more than his death. Guys, yeah, I'm going to say horrible things because I don't want to cry. That's how emotions work. Apparently you're not familiar with him, but Fallon, thank you so much for being here. we don't know each other, but I've heard nothing but great things about you from your dad. Like, he wouldn't shut up about you. Frankly, I feel a weird kindred spirit with you because my dad was also kind of a fuck up. I'm dead serious, like totally, like not this fun. This is kind of like like my dad would not have this kind of turnout. And I'm not lying that a part of me, when I heard Monty died, I was like, why not my dad? And I'm lying. Because it's like I'd see you like with him a couple of times, and he'd be like, "Yeah, UT, like lawyer, right? Like you're gonna go and do great things or work for corporations. I don't know. It could go either way at this point." But he was so proud of you, and I saw in you like you trailing your dad, like, that's my dad. let's fucking do this. You know? And then like, hey, we're gonna be in a Chinese food restaurant on a Saturday or some shit. We tell jokes, they're gonna love it. And they're like, no one's gonna love it. Like here, this is a terrible place, but we're here. No, I've salted the stage with these salt shakers many times because nothing grows here, but it is Carthage to me. But I remember when they brought in the piano and Monty was like, how's Mr. Tramps going? It's great, they got a piano. Nothing about crowds. Which is how he looked at life. He's like, oh, fuck the people thing, that doesn't matter. They got a piano, we can just do some more weird shit. You're like, it's fucking great. I don't know, so, I don't know, I just, Fallon, I want to apologize for everything you've had to deal with tonight. The fact that you've had to sit up in the front row and watch this. Hasn't his family suffered enough, guys? Seriously, how fucking vain are you? Like, yeah, let's make it all about you guys getting on stage. Do you know how many comics were hitting up Sam like, hey, is it a good crowd? Can I work out some shit? Can I do some like jokes? Fuck, man, I don't know. I don't want to be too real here. Like, I wrote a thing last night, and I want you to know that it was genuine. The thing I wrote first, I totally deleted. Because when I found out, it was like this fucked up situation, like you want to say something, but you don't want to blast it on fucking social media, so his family's like, what the fuck? You know, before they find out. So the thing I wrote was, rest in peace, 75% of the open mics in Austin comedy. Here's the thing, people took that at first as an insult. They thought I was saying something shitty. I wasn't. The guy literally created 75% of the mics. Most of them terrible. Let's be real. But they definitely validated a lot of terrible comics who should not be doing this. I feel like you know who you are. I'm not naming names. But if you keep doing this, you're next. It's not going to work. So in closing, I'll just say, I feel bad for whoever dies next because you can't top this. Like, you're screwed. You're totally fucked. So I don't, Blake, maybe. Blake, I hope you don't die because you're not getting half of this. And it's only because you haven't put in the work. You got a girlfriend, I get it. All right.
Jay White Cotton. Very funny. What a monster that guy is. The next comic, one of my faves here in town, very close friend with Montgomery Wayne. Give it up for Wes Corwin.
Don't worry, I'm not gonna cry. I've drank way too much to feel anything tonight. It's great. One time I met you, sir, at the Velveeta room.
That's right.
Monty was really excited. Every time I talked to Monty, he was super excited. He brought you up and how great you were doing. Which is funny because I did terrible at UT Austin. Graduated with like a 3.3 GPA. I remember when I talked to you at the Velveeta room, I told you that I had recently gotten a 21 on a test. I told him that because I had recently gotten a 21 on a test. I was really bad at school. What are you going to do? Terrible at everything. I don't know why I'm here, you know? It's weird. I wrote something this morning that was the equivalent of, I'm way too sad to write anything about Monty, and I can't say anything about Monty. I can just tell stories, I guess, because that's what other people are doing. The last thing I really remember about Monty was, this is the funniest thing to me. Was it Heckle Factory? I don't know if anybody here saw the last time Monty performed at Heckle Factory. Heckle Factory! I don't know if anybody here was a fan of Heckle Factory. Heckle Factory was the most horrifying show anybody imagined. The one idea behind stand-up comedy was, hey, don't yell things at the comedians. And Lawson Bennett, my best friend in comedy at the time, was like, hey, let's make a show where people only yell things at the comedians. And Monty took the stage, and this was maybe the second time they'd done Heckle Factory, and everybody else was really nervous, like, what if people talk during my set? Oh my gosh, what could happen? I was on the lineup, and Monty took the stage. You're allowed 1 minute before they whistled. They took out a real whistle and they whistled you. And then the audience was allowed to say whatever they wanted. Monty took the stage, and the first thing out of his mouth, before he told a joke, before he said anything, before he even said, where are my outlaws at? He said, I lost my wife in a car crash. I lost my house in the Bastrop fire. Say whatever you want, you motherfuckers. And he told his jokes for a minute to raucous laughter. And then Lawson and Jimmy whistled, and dead silence. I got the light. I love you guys so much. And I love Monty so much. Thanks for coming out. That's all I have to say.
Wes Corwin. I think Wes just reminded me of a good point. Memorial services would be a lot better if there was somebody giving the light in the back the whole time. Give it up for your next, not a comic. Just, I'm very happy about this. Not a comic is signed up. Just, she's a friend of Monty. She wants to remember him. Give it up for Maggie.
That Heckle Factory show, I think, is my favorite memory of Monty. So I've been dating a comedian for a few years, and for about the first 2 years of our relationship, I would try and come to all the open mics to be supportive, which is a terrible idea, because, I mean, if comedy is terrifying for you, your first time going up, it's mortifying if you're just going to see people go up. Like, I'm sorry, it's true, but Monty was always so kind and always took the time to talk to me, which was super rare, because y'all just kind of talk to each other, which is great. And I think at that Heckle Factory show, your dad lost lost his bag, and I think it was the only time that I've ever heard of him being angry. Because he thought he lost something of his, a material possession, and I found it and I brought it to him, and he was just so thankful, and I didn't understand why he was so grateful for me just returning his shit. Like, I wasn't going to keep it, and it always stuck with me, because every time I saw him after that, he would thank me for it. Your dad was so great and such a beautiful person, and I feel truly blessed to be around him. And thank you for being here. He loved you so much, and he loved comedy so much. I thank all of you for being here and for letting me go up and not tell jokes, just say shit that I remember about Monty. Thanks.
Maggie, ladies and gentlemen, he was so excited to get that bag because that's where he keeps his weed at. Next comic, new on the scene. This death has affected him though, because Monty, like I said, is the first person you meet when you come into the Austin comedy scene, basically. Give it up for Jared McCorkle.
Hey guys, yeah, so it's super weird doing jokes right now, but I kind of feel like it's like the price of admission right now, and usually I try to ground the things I write in like biographical stuff, but this is just some goofy shit I thought about, and it just seems to be an appropriate time for some reason. Yeah, so I like the Beach Boys a lot, but I don't think the Beach Boys were supposed to be a band. I think they were just a barbershop quartet that somebody kidnapped and fed peyote. So that's one goofy thing. The second thing is that I have $1 million idea. What I want to do is I want to take maxi pads and put pictures of WWE superstars on them, and I want to call them slam puns. And I don't know if that's a feminist thing or a piece of shit thing to say, but anyway. So those are 2 jokes I wanted to do, and it's almost obscene for me to be up here because I didn't know Monty that well, but I just started doing comedy, and he was the first person he was the first host to introduce me up, and I'm never going to forget that because I'm absolutely in love with this. And I wanted to say that it's a weird thing doing comedy because it's a really like, it's kind of a hard community to enter. You have to be really like, you have to earn people's respect. And I had a similar experience to that. I was in the military. And it's the same thing. People don't just welcome you in, like you have to earn their respect. And the big ones punch you for some reason, though thanks for not doing that, guys. I'm just punching you. But anyway, the point is, like, to do this, you have to be really vulnerable, and it's really hard, and a lot of people sort of treat you early on like, who the fuck is this guy? But Monty didn't, and he introduced me just like I was a real comic, and that felt great, and so I really appreciate it, and that's all I wanted to say. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Jared McCorkle. One more time for him. This more proof that Monty was the nicest guy in the comedy scene. Everybody knows and respects and likes him. Give it up for your next comic. Very funny. Good friend of Montgomery Wayne, Aaron Cheatham.
Alright, I think it's been well documented now that Monty had some crazy ideas. And we all went along with them at some point or another. I was a part of the South by Southwest flash mob that we did down at the theater. It was Monty, Mahoney, Danny, Jock, who might still be here somewhere, and Rob, the competent guy, director. And it was crazy. We were waiting on Mahoney to get there, and it was just funny where your inspiration in like comedy comes from. So we're waiting on Mahoney. Monty's a little frustrated as we're waiting on him to get there. So I go take a lap around the block. Just gonna go smoke a cigarette real quick while we're waiting for this thing to start. And as I'm coming around, almost back to where the guys were, there was a line of cops in front of the theater, right? And I'm wearing a Darth Vader shirt. And it's a picture of Darth Vader taking a selfie. And as I'm walking, finishing up my cigarette, and walking past these cops, the next to last cop, it's a true story, he goes, "Darth Vader, nice!" I said, what the fuck? And I knew it was one of the cops, and I was just hoping, because, Ferguson and shit was going on. I'm just thinking, man, like, I don't want to say the wrong thing to these cops. And then South by Southwest become a scene, like. So I turned around, and I'm just trying to keep it cool, and I'm just like, hey, man, thank you, appreciate that very much. And he's like, yeah, man, I didn't really had you figured to be a Star Wars fan. And I'm like, how the fuck am I getting racially profiled over fucking Star Wars at a goddamn flash mob? So I'm like, oh, well, this is my thing. Yeah, I get down with it. He's like, yeah, and he goes off on this whole rant about him having a whole stormtrooper get-up, right? And him and his son going to Comic-Con and all this, and it's getting real weird. The other cops are kind of turning their back on him at this point. And I'm kind of wishing I could walk the fuck away too, but I'm just, again, yes sir, yeah, I bet you look good in that stormtrooper outfit. And I'm just looking for that straw hat in the crowd, like, if anything goes down, I just need Monty to see me so he can be a witness that I was supposed to be here for something. Like, just not a random black dude with a Star Wars shirt on looking to get my ass whooped. And I get back to where the crew is, Mahoney's there, and Monty's just like, well, where the hell you been? I was like, you won't believe it. A fucking cop and Darth Vader, don't even worry about it. Like, you won't even believe it. And we did it, and it was a lot of fun. It didn't go the way we wanted it to go, but we ended up passing out a lot of flyers for a comedy show that night. And that was a lot of fun. Monty was a good dude. I ain't gonna spend too much time up here. I'll just tell one of the favorite jokes that I did that he liked. The joke that I didn't even know that worked until Monty came and told me that he liked it. Yeah, it was one of those ones, you have those jokes and you do it and you're like, man, I hope this is okay. And then Monty's super pumped up when you get off stage and it's like, well, shit, I guess that was okay. So the joke is, I'm kind of a mark when it comes to like salesmen. All right, like I go places, I'm that dude that, they offer you the insurance and I'm like, it's okay. And they're like, are you sure? For 3 years you're getting it. The more they talk, the more I'm just like, yes, just buy it. I'll take it, whatever. So I'm walking by a Foot Locker, and this guy goes, hey, man, why don't you come in and get some shoes? So I'm like, nah, I'm okay. He goes, nah, man, I know you. You've been here before. You come in here and get some shoes. And I was like, yes, sir, I'll get some shoes. So I walk inside, and he's like, hey, man, I remember you. Last time you was here, you got those 1985 white Air Force Ones. They was clean, right? I was like, yeah. And he goes, well, look at these ones. It's the same shoes, 30-year edition with the gold trim. You like that, right? And I was like, yeah, I do. And he's like, yeah, you do. Look at these right here. These are Jordans. They count your steps and your calories. $300. You want to get them, right? I was like, yeah, I want to get them. $300 right there. The fucking Jordans Wizards Edition with a step counter. And it's fucked up. That's the same way they got me at the crack house. I was just walking down the street, some guy goes, hey man, I know you, you've been here before. $300 later, I'm counting calories again. Thank you guys so much, Monty. We'll miss you.
Aaron Cheatham, your next comic, another good friend of Monty Wayne. I'm excited to see what he has to say. Give it up for Jesse Lopez.
Hi guys, I really don't know what to say. I really don't. I really like Monty. He was generous. He was kind. He was like the nicest person ever. He loved the Austin comedy scene. We had nothing in common. But my first memory actually was him handing out like a paper thing where it's like a Xerox copy of him as a cowboy with a space helmet on. That was like when I think it was like the first time I met him and my first memory of him. And I looked at the paper and I was like, this guy's not gonna last a week. like a year and a half later, he's like the most popular comic in Austin. So. Oh, man. He was something. He was something. Horrible shows that he produced. He did. Yeah. like, come on, like the Badlands. He told me, he's like, yeah, I'll buy you a hot dog. I was like, yeah, all right. Does the hot dog come with 2 hours of my life? Yeah. You know, I don't know. I'm not gonna say I was his best friend or anything. You know, we're pretty cool with each other. But now it's like that. Like, oh, I was his best friend. No, I was his best. You know, people counting likes on the Instagrams and the Twitters. That's the competition right now. You know, you go home. That's how you rate yourself as Monty's friend. You go to your Twitter account and see how many refollows for his, you know, for the picture that. I'm sad he's gone. Well, Monty, I'll see you.
Jesse Lopez. Very nice. The next comic, another good friend of Monty. Monty was a big supporter of this guy. Give it up for Ben Harrell.
Okay. Monty was a cool guy. I loved him. He loved you. He loved everybody. He really liked that I played sports in high school. Never let anybody really into it. I remember the first time, or just clap if you just smoke weed with Monty once. I didn't know that guy for that long, but I mean, in high school I wasn't into drugs, and then I graduated. And I remember the first time I smoked with Monty was outside Spider House, and he couldn't get over the fact that he was smoking weed with a state championship football player. He wouldn't let anybody. It was really weird because he got like really high. And I didn't really get that high, but he went up and then he just went up and he just went. I smoked weed with a state championship football player. That's pretty good. He showed me not to lose your inhibitions on the stage, and he was a big supporter of all the wacky shit that I would try to do, and I don't know. My personal favorite bit was the Outlaws joke. I mean, okay. In homage, as loud as we possibly can. Where are my outlaws at? Woo! What are you guys, a bunch of fucking narcs? All-time favorite bit that he did though was I sadly can't remember the context of why the fuck you. Oh no, okay, no, I remember. He was on stage and he had a beer and he went. Yeah, this was at Cold Town, packed show. He said, "First person to take off their shirt gets his beer." Silence. He took his shirt off and he just drank the beer. That was Monty. That was Monty. I love that guy. I'm gonna miss him. We're all gonna miss him. Thanks.
Ben Harrell, state championship football player. I'm impressed. I don't know about you guys. I am still impressed by that. Your next comic person, I don't know him. Maybe he's just here for the open mic. Maybe he knows Monty. We're going to see. Give it up for William Cooper.
Okay, so this is my first time on stage. I apparently did not pick the best night to do open mic night, but I think I have, from listening to all of y'all, I think I figured out a story I can tell about Monty that happened. It didn't actually happen, but I'm going to make it up, and it's probably going to be like 98% accurate. It happened, let's say, August 26th, 2015. And Monty and I were high as hell. we had just done some marijuana and some acid and some mushrooms. Why not? Fuck it. And we ended up at a laundromat. Is I'm guessing where most of the stories that he's involved with end up at. And then we did. He had the brilliant idea to go on a train and tell some stand-up comedy jokes. And I said, Monty, you're crazy. That'll never work. Amtrak will kick us off. And he said, no, William, I promise you. Oh my God, we will tell the jokes. We will ride the rails. And oh my God, it'll be a blessing. And that was Monty. I wish that story was true, but it seems like y'all lost a good friend, and I'm sorry to hear that. Is it okay if I do a joke that I'm actually going to try to do? So have any of y'all heard the phrase, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king?
Yeah.
I don't think that that's a particularly good situation. You're the king. Yeah, that sounds good. But you're the king of the blind people. Your constituency is not gonna really give you a lot of. You're not gonna be getting a lot of gold. You could be like, I want all the beautiful women to come up to me and fan me with leaves and stuff like that, and they're gonna be like, you know what? We don't have agriculture here. It's kind of why we made you the king, Mr. One-Eye. We needed you to kind of set up the whole thing for us. Oh, fuck it. You know what? Monty, fuck it. Alright, yeah. I hope you guys,
William Cooper, give his son a hug. This is your first time doing comedy. Monty would have fucking loved that. Fuck yeah. Also, if you keep doing comedy, you'll have the most awkward first-time story out of any comic ever. Next comic, very funny, new on the scene. Another guy Monty took under his wing, very nice too. Give it up for Ben Sefton.
Hello! Hey everybody, it's great that we're all able to come together. It's been a nice Saturday evening thinking about Monty and Montgomery, or whichever name you didn't want you to call him. You just call him that name. There's been a lot of amazing things said of him, but what I think he did in this town, which is so important, is when I started doing comedy about 6 months ago, and Monty, I felt, was like my first fan, right? Because he's one of the first guys that told me I was funny, told me to keep coming back. I chased him down, and me and him would do 20 minutes at an open mic where there's no other comics, and he was just a great guy, a great inspiration to the scene. I'm glad everyone's here. So I do want to do just a quick moment of silence for him. And I'm going to tell some jokes, and we can do that. Is everyone okay with that? Alright. So, thank you everybody. I don't know if Montgomery was a big drinker. I've actually, I've quit drinking for good recently. Now I'm only drinking for evil. I've actually, since I've cut back on the alcohol, I'm drinking way more coffee. I like cold, black, iced coffee, just like my soul.
And I told my mom that joke, and she says, "Your soul's not black." And I reminded her that it was my fucking soul, and it could be whatever color I wanted it to be. Don't tell me I'm living my afterlife, Mom. And, you know, that's the thing, when somebody moves on, you know, I think they finally know, you know, they get to know the one thing you can't search for here. They get to find out. And I hope Montgomery said, you know, far out. So I'm a thirsty guy, so I've been drinking for evil a lot recently. And I have a black soul, so I've actually been doing some research about different religions. I wanted to figure out which religion would allow you to get away with the most evil. So I got on Wikipedia, searched around, figured out Christianity, hands down, you can get away with the most. I heard about a new religion called YOLOism, and I tried to convert to that, but stupid shit just kept on happening. I started reading about some of the Eastern religions, like Buddhism and Hinduism. And Hinduism is one I really like because of the concept of reincarnation. But I don't understand if reincarnation was real, why we still wind up with situations in, like, modern India. But that's one thing about the universe that the only things we kind of think that we understand is that it pretty much goes on infinitely. And unfortunately, there's a place where Montgomery is no longer with us, but he's probably up in his version of heaven, getting blowjobs from all the girls that he wanted blowjobs from through all the years of the guys at the comedy. So Monty, I hope you're getting blown right now, brother. Thanks, everybody.
Inception. He did not meet Monty until his heavy blow. Hey, give his son a hug. Give his son a hug. He did meet Monty in his heavy blowjob material days. It wasn't always like that. Your next comic, Monty loved a lot. She's a sweet Texas woman, and Monty just loves that alone. She's also really funny. Give it up for Carla Duplantis.
Well, Sam, thanks so much for putting this together today. This is awesome. I remember the first time I met Monty was at the New Movement, and he was just being friendly, and he came up and introduced himself. And I said, "Well, I'm Carla. It's nice to meet you." He's like, "Carla Duplantis? I've been looking forward to meeting you." I'm like, "How the fuck you even know who I am?" It turns out it wasn't because he thought I was funny necessarily. It's just because he was only a 7th generation Texan. I'm 8th. I totally trumped him in white trash royalty. But I love that we had a lot in common. I too was a single parent. I had three daughters, 22, 16, and 13, which gives me 41 fucking reasons to drink. Now, honey, I am so fucking impressed with you. I am still struggling to get my oldest daughter through ACC after 5 years. Hey, junior college is a bitch, I'm just saying. And I'm just divorced. I did not have near the obstacles that this man had to do what he did. And as a parent, we never know whether it's because of us or in spite of us. But we always want our children to do better than we did. And I know he is so fucking proud of you. He told me that a lot. He always asked about my daughters, and I love that about him, even though they're a bigger hot mess than I am. One of the last few times I seen him, though, was downtown. It was National Hug a Stranger Day. And I was actually there for work, and my boss dropped me off downtown to take legal documents to our attorney's office. I get out there, and there's Monty in his big old goofy fucking hat and his free hug sign. So I was like, "Hey, honey, how you doing?" I get my hug and move on. go to the lawyer's office, come back down, and I got to wait about 20 minutes for my boss to come back around. So he's like, honey, if you're going to stand here next to me, you better get your ass to work. Hands me a sign. So my boss pulls back around, and along with your dad, I'm just mauling perfect strangers with hugs, whether they wanted one or not. My boss comes back around, picks me up, she goes, I swear, do you know everybody in this town? I really have no idea who the fuck these people are. But he was a wonderful, wonderful man, and I'm so blessed to have known him. And Fallon, our thoughts and prayers are with your family. Thank you very much. My name is Carly Duplantis.
Carla Duplantis. Duplantis. I don't know how to say it. I'm fancy. Very good. Very good. He did love to hug people. That Montgomery Wayne. He did. He talked about doing that hug stuff all the time. He loved to hug people who didn't want it for some reason. Fuck it. Your next comic, very funny, good friend of mine. Give it up for Taylor Dowdy.
So, I moved to Austin like a year and a half ago, and if none of you are like familiar with how comedy works, when you move to a scene, it's a lot like prison. Like, you gotta find the biggest dude, you know, not to like beat up or fuck, but like you just wanna like, you know, you gotta meet the big guys. So when I got here, like, this dude was everywhere, and I mean like literally everywhere. He was on every flyer, every poster, and I was like, who is this guy? And I got like the chance to meet this dude, and like he made me feel so welcome, and I was like, oh great, I'm in the scene. I would like call my brother and sister and brag, like, dude, I met like a big famous comic in town. Come to find out, like he just made everybody feel great, and I wasn't special at all. It was ridiculous. But one weird story, like when I first moved here, like I had this fantasy of like being the dark, deep, mysterious comic, and like it was so goddamn dumb. Like I wanted to be Doug Stanhope, but like, you know, like I didn't want to rip the guy off, so I wore like these funky ass green shoes. They're stupid. I don't fucking wear them anymore. But this one time that I wore them, I went to do Luis Flandez's Gypsy Lounge open mic, and Monty was there, and I hadn't really talked to the guy a whole lot, and he hit me up and he was like, hey, I'm gonna go do this new mic at Badlands. It's the first night. I was like, oh, cool, dude. Do you mind if I walk with you? He's like, yeah. If you don't know how long that walk is, it's like 6 blocks. The whole time, this dude got high. We walked by the cemetery, and he was trying to, like, pitch how to sell green shoes to me. He's like, all right, dude, you want to know how to run a great business? Here's how you run a great business. Let's just say you want to open up a green shoe emporium. And I'm like, I don't want to sell green shoes, dude. I just have a pair. And he's like, oh, well, regardless. Here's what you do. You got to get out there and start marketing green shoes, and you got to find out people who want green shoes. And like I just like relentlessly like tried to like bash the shit into my head, and I was like, I love this guy. This is ridiculous. But Monty was awesome, man. He texted me 3 days ago, and he said, hey, because a friend of mine are putting on a show, and this is how these things work. We just book it, and some people get on, some people don't. And he texted me and he said, hey man, did you forget that I was funny? And I was like, no, not at all, dude. I'm sorry, you'll get on the next one. And I literally said, you know I love you, dude. And he goes, yeah, thank you, I love you too. And that was literally the last thing I said to this guy. We all know Monty could be arrogant. He could be. But one thing that he could totally brag about his ability to be a great comic and his ability to, you know, open up a room. But the one thing that he never did, man, is he never bragged more about his family, about his wife, and about his kids. And you can see that there's evidence all over the place with the sets that he did. All of his time was dedicated to his family and his, you know, it was great. It was a great thing to see. And I'm gonna miss this dude. So I'm very happy to have moved to this city and met this guy. So thank you very much.
Taylor Dowdy. Monty, what, you forget I was funny? Yeah, that sounds exactly like something Monty would say. Next comic, very funny, another good friend of Monty's. Give it up for Phil Parker.
Oh boy. So I've been drinking. It's the only way I know how to process this, whatever it is. The last time I brought, this is the last place that I saw Monty, actually. Wednesday night, we did kick butt and he needed a ride, as he usually fucking did. And I gave him one, and on the way over, the last conversation we had was about dirty comedy versus clean comedy. And all he did was try to make me feel better about my act. He's like, oh yeah, you know, like, it's okay if you're dirty. I mean, I'm working on a clean set and I'll probably get booked before you do, but like, it'll be fine. And we got here and we talked for about 5 minutes about just what his day was like, and he's the most positive fucking guy I've ever met. Like, he was just so, no matter the shit he went through, he was always just being positive as shit. He understood the dark side of things, but never actually made it dark. Like, that's the most important thing about Monty, I think. Like, how do you do that? Like, how do you fucking actually overcome that bullshit and become the person that everybody wants to be in spite of what you see every day and what has happened to you? Like, I don't understand, like, how you can be that good of a fucking person. I just don't get it. The last time he brought me up on stage at C-Note, not yesterday, last week, he brought me up and he's like, this guy, he's pretty funny, which I'll resent him forever for that. But then he was just like, he's angry, he's bitter, and I love him for it, and I think he's fucking hilarious. I don't know how anybody else could find the vitriol that I spew funny. I don't get it. I really don't. And he had a capacity that nobody else really understood of, like, how to turn something negative into something positive, and on the drop of a dime. He didn't have to go through that weird waiting phase that most of us do. You know what I mean? He's not in line for coffee. He's getting his coffee right on the fucking spot, like, because he just knows the guy. He knows what you're going through exactly when it's happening, and he knew how to process it better than anybody I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. I will never forget that. Like, that is something we should all at least strive for, to be able to take something negative and without even thinking about it, turn it into the most positive fucking thing that you will ever know. Like, and make everybody feel better about it. To make somebody feel better about something is the biggest gift you can give to anybody at any point in your life. I have no idea how to do it, but this was the one guy, this is the one guy I could never resent, ever. Like, he could be, you know, curt, to say the least. Like, he could brush you off, and I'd say hello to him half the time, and he'd just be like, ugh, and just walk away. But the next time he saw me, I knew he was waiting with a smile and a fucking hug. And that's what's fucking important about this person. And if Austin Comedy doesn't learn a goddamn thing from this, I will never respect any of you if you don't look at this motherfucker and try to be him every fucking day. If you don't try to do that, you're doing it wrong. He's the most important thing that's ever happened to this fucking scene, and to me, possibly. So,
Phil Parker. He thought he wasn't going to do a good job. We have reached our final comedian of the evening, folks, and I know it's getting late. If you haven't donated to Monty's fund, there is a GoFundMe. Get on that. But in the past week, Monty told me this next comic, one of the funniest things he's ever seen. And Monty was just as supportive of everybody. And it's just a true testament to him. I can't shut up about Monty being great. Give it up for Kent Julep. Hello, hello. Yeah, man, I've been here not for the whole time, but what I've heard, I mean, sounds about right. And a lot of people had a lot of really beautiful things to say, and I can certainly stand by them. It's to be in the same room as this guy. I mean, you see that his attitude's contagious. You know what I mean? How's it going? But yeah, dude, like, and I know folks have said all this stuff. I joined the scene about, I guess, around a year and a half ago, and started going up, and same kind of thing. Mine was the first dude that they really make contact enough to. I don't know, man. I went, like, the second night I went up, I think, Monty, I mean, I know that Monty put me up, and was already just, like, from seeing me and a guy that I was with like a notebook. He just saw a guy with a notebook, and he was like, "Hey, man, you coming up here? Come on, let's just get this guy up here," and was just, man, always smiling, and always making everybody around him happier to be there. I was talking to him not too long ago, and one of the things he was talking about since he started doing comedy that was really special to him was the folks that he's been able to meet, saying that there are folks that he knows in the scene that otherwise he maybe would never have thought to talk to or to hear their perspective for 5 minutes. You know, I mean, it can tell you a lot. And that's probably true, I mean, about this, about me and this guy. And I certainly feel incredibly lucky to have known him and been able to hang out with him and sleep dope with him and play basketball with him. I mean, he was, man, he was a really great fella, and I feel lucky to have known him. And he really, I know it's been said, but he really, really did love you and your family, and spoke so highly of you all the time, on stage and off too, like, just because I'm a young guy too. I think he was very kind to me and some of the younger folks that I came up with, and he was always talking about you and Taylor and how proud he was. So man, God bless that guy. Thank you. Jula. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. One more time for Alfredo. This was his idea. He spearheaded this. Fallon, do you wanna come up and say anything?
Thank you all. This is my first time holding a mic.
Everybody's got a first time.
That's right. Leadership is a unique thing. Influence is something that's not permanent. I can't promise that I'll be at every comedy show. But while I do have influence with y'all, I want it to be positive. I live by the words that my dad spoke. It resonated in my head. I don't want y'all to be influenced by his behavior because he's dead. That's good. I have some watermelon and corn I boiled in my car. If you're hungry. I have a gallon of water. I wanted to feed and water my dad or whatever. But y'all will do. So, pick up the pieces. I think we've all learned something and can continue to learn something. I wish I could say more. I understand I'm not going to get the light. But I'm a big stickler of trying to think things out. I appreciate y'all. Thank you all. I'm going to be out in the parking lot. I'm serious. I have a gallon of water, cups, plates. So if you want to reach out to me while I'm here, I'm ready to learn. I'm willing to learn. It's a learning opportunity for us all. An original opportunity.
Fallon, Seitz. We'll be out in the parking lot for a little bit to kick us out of here. Thanks for coming out. There's an open mic here tomorrow. Come on back. It'll be slightly less sad, I hope. Thank you all. Thank you for coming out. Rest in peace, Montgomery Wayne.
Tomorrow I'm doing a show at Love Goat. Then I'm doing a thing at Blake's show on Tuesday.